This is a production of Florida State University.
Coming up on FSU Headlines, the president of Florida State University reviews the year. FSU research reveals scorpions aren't all bad. And Seminole soccer on the hunt for another national title. It's all coming up on FSU Headlines. Hello and welcome to another edition of FSU Headlines. I'm your host, Dennis Schnitker. The year 2018 here at Florida State University has been a year of great progress and accomplishment, but also one of challenge and loss. University President John Thrasher spoke about many of those moments during his annual State of the University address to the Florida State faculty. Take a listen.
So it's been quite a year. We were rocked by some devastating events and we celebrated some momentous achievements. But the word that comes to mind is resilience. It's rooted in the tenacity of spirit. Something that is in our DNA, I believe, at Florida State University. Our strength not only pushes us forward, but it carries us through difficult times as well. So we had some hard times in 2018, but the challenges of the past year have provided us, I think, with an opportunity to see what we are made of. We reaffirmed our resilience, and that same strength has helped us to reach an unprecedented level, I believe, of achievement. And we've got a lot to celebrate. When I became president 4 years ago, my number one goal was to reach the top 25, and that's just not a number. That's just not a number. To see how close we are now to achieving that goal is incredible. We've established, I believe, our rightful place on the national and international stage, and others are now looking to Florida State University to lead the way. I think we're guiding Florida State toward a more bold and brighter future.
A Florida State University Economics and International Affairs major recently competed for one of the top honors in higher education. Florida State senior Samantha Coonan was one of the finalists to interview for the prestigious Rhodes Scholarship. Recipients study at the University of Oxford in England. Reaching the final round for the world's oldest and most celebrated International Fellowship Award is a huge honor. And while Samantha was not one of the 32 U.S. college students selected for the Rhodes Scholarship this year, the process itself gave Samantha a renewed drive to pursue her calling in human rights work.
The Rhodes Scholarship is meant to challenge new ideas, to bring new research to the table, and I wanted to do that within the sphere of migration studies. So within the Rhodes Scholarship, I'm applying for a one-year master's in migration studies and a one-year master in refugee and forced migration studies.
Florida State has a total of 5 Rhodes Scholars and another 5 finalists between the years 2009 and 2017. In our next headline, Florida State University honors a pair of beloved educators. The university recently held special ceremonies for President Emeritus Sandy D'Alemberte and former longtime Vice President for Student Affairs Mary Coburn. President D'Alemberte was honored during a statue dedication and relocation ceremony at the FSU College of Law. The statue depicting the President Emeritus previously stood at the College of Medicine. D'Alemberte served as the FSU College of Law Dean from 1984 to 1989 and then President of Florida State from 1994 until 2003. And across campus, former Vice President for Student Affairs Mary Coburn received a high honor as the Health and Wellness Center was named in her honor.
I can't really let my emotions come into play because it would be too overwhelming to have your life's work remembered and honored in this way. Just means more than you can imagine.
Florida State University is launching a new institute to study the U.S. civil rights movement and help promote positive social change. Take a look at the institute's inaugural event.
It's almost like a miracle. It really is very humbling that we've been able to take this idea in collaboration with the different deans in the university to bring us here today. So not only am I proud, I'm humbled. It's just an unbelievable occurrence that we have the university and the crowd here today. And so the future's bright for the Florida State University Civil Rights Institute.
I hope it has been enjoyable. I wish that it's been impactful. And I want you to support this effort because we will be coming back.
We are very impressed to have the Institute housed at Stroger. It is one of maybe 320 certified research libraries in the United States. So for this institute to be a part of that, we think it will just garner worldwide interest, and we certainly want to be a part of making it a better world for everybody.
The Institute will host speakers and events, curate museum exhibits, develop an interactive website, support education research, and build library collections to focus on the Institute's mission. Well, could some creepy critters hold the key to medical marvels?
There are about 2,200 species of scorpion, and they're distributed all over the world. Only about 32 of those we found actually were medically significant enough to harm a human.
We'll show you why scorpions are more medically significant than you may have previously known. That story when FSU Headlines returns.
We are Florida State University.
When you buy a Florida State University license plate,
you're not just showing your school spirit.
You're supporting students like us.
In the lab,
in the classroom,
and in the library.
Putting this tag on your vehicle helps Florida State students achieve their dreams. So show your pride. Purchase an FSU license plate today.
Welcome back to FSU Headlines. I'm Dennis Schnitker, joining you here from the campus of Florida State University. Not far from where I'm standing, researchers have uncovered some interesting new findings about the potential medical benefits of scorpion stings, or rather, scorpion venom. Watch this.
A lot of people ask how we catch the scorpions. We catch them at night using a black light, and so that might make it sound a little bit more terrifying. But really what it does is it makes them much more visible. So when we're out in the field, stomping around the forest in the middle of the night, using these black lights, we can actually see exactly where the scorpions are, which is for our safety and for their safety. Okay, it's Micaiah Ward. I am a graduate student at FSU in the Department of Biological Sciences in Dr. Darren Rokita's laboratory, and I do venom research. Well, this is our closet of critters, I guess you could say. So we've got tons of different species of spiders, scorpions, and centipedes in here. So we ironically don't have any of the local species here right now. We'll need to go out and catch some more. Scorpions get this really bad rap, right? Everybody seems to be afraid of them, but there really aren't many of them to be afraid of. We were actually a group that was requested to do a review on updating the medically significant scorpions from around the globe. And in that process, we were actually expecting to find a lot more that were considered medically significant, because what will happen is one person will get stung, have a really adverse reaction, go to the hospital, and that same report will be cited over and over and over, and it'll eventually kind of combust into this idea that there are these really harmful scorpions that are out to kill you. What we found in the process actually is that there's this huge disconnect between researchers who are actually looking at the scorpions and their habitat behavior, the venom components, and then the medical side where they're trying to treat the symptoms of the scorpion sting. So their venom complexity, some of those toxins might be used for a defensive strategy, whereas others are actually used to immobilize their prey for their predation. And so we're trying to kind of figure out what those different components are and how they've evolved to be so effective. And what the differences are between those that are extremely harmful to humans versus the ones that are more harmless, and how they've evolved to be like that. There's actually a species in Israel, and that one they've isolated certain components from the venom that they're using to identify brain tumors. They actually call it tumor paint, and it helps surgeons visualize the tumors while they're performing surgery, so they're able to actually excise all of that tumor. There are about 2,200 species of scorpion, and they're distributed all over the world. Only about 32 of those we found actually were medically significant enough to harm a human. All of the others will still hurt, but they're not necessarily going to be life-threatening. And so that's kind of what led this review and kind of updating this global accounting of medically significant scorpions.
In our next story, Florida State University graduate students rise to the occasion to pare down years of research into 3 minutes or less.
My research focuses on sense of coherence.
It's the annual 3-minute thesis competition, and these 14 Florida State doctoral candidates present their research findings to a packed room. The goal is to gain experience and skill breaking down their findings into a form that the general public can learn from in a short amount of time. These skills will serve them well in the future when pitching ideas to potential investors or for further research endeavors.
We all have time limits in life, so it's important to realize that many times you will, you talk about elevator speeches, there'll be times when you have a minute or two to explain to somebody what it is that you do, why it's important, and how it's going to change the world. And our students, need to learn those skills, and they're already doing brilliant research, but they have to package it in an understandable format, and that's what this competition helps them do.
Eve Humphrey is this year's winner and takes home a $1,000 prize. Colleges around the world host regular guest lectures to bring notable speakers to campus. Here at Florida State University, the College of Social Sciences and Public Policy hosts the Cressy Lecture Series. It brings distinguished speakers to discuss ethics in government. But this year, organizers didn't have to go far to find a speaker, inviting former state legislator and current Florida State University President John Thrasher to detail his journey from politician to president.
Welcome everyone to the FSU School's Joe E. Cressy Lecture Series. We've been doing this for 10 years now, and we're very pleased you're here.
Normally at this point, we would introduce our speaker, and we'd read the bio, and we'd spend some time making sure that you understood what a wonderful speaker we've got for you here today. We do have a wonderful speaker here for you today, but I'm not going to read his bio because I think many of you know it, and it's there in front of you if you care to refresh your memory on President Thrasher's great accomplishments, his leadership in this state, the many positions he's held. You're not here to hear me talk, you're here to hear him give some remarks. So President Thrasher, thank you very much for joining us, and we look forward to your remarks today.
Thank you very much. This has been a really spectacular day, and I don't deserve the arthritis in my knee, and I don't deserve the honor of being here today. I'm very, very blessed and appreciated, though, and thank you all and the FSU School and Dean Chapin, thank you for being here, and all the other people who have helped in such a terrific way make this a very, very special day for all of us in our administration. It's easy to forget during these times of unnecessary and I think honestly regrettable partisan politics, but hopefully we can find underneath all of that a sense of optimism. It's why most politicians run for office. I think most people do. They have it in their heart to do the right thing. I credit my success in life to three things: God, my lovely wife Jean, and FSU. I saw the presidency as a wonderful opportunity, frankly, to give back to the university that had given so much to me. I know without any doubt I would not be standing here today without having the education I received at FSU. I graduated from the College of Business and Undergraduate School and this beautiful law school right here at FSU. It's been a dream come true to serve as FSU president. I've enjoyed the opportunity to talk to you today. May God bless you, and may God bless Florida State University. Thank you.
The Cressy Lecture Series honors the memory of Joe Cressy and his 45 years of public service to the state of Florida, including an extended term on the Public Service Commission. Well, next up, they're the heartbeat and the soundtrack of FSU.
Not anybody can march in the marching chiefs. So there is a standard that's set from our previous generations of marching chiefs.
We'll spend some time with the world-renowned Florida State Marching Chiefs and find out why they'll put that title to work very soon. That's when FSU Headlines continues in a moment. Welcome back to FSU Headlines. I'm Dennis Schnitker. If you've been to a sporting event here at Florida State, then you've no doubt enjoyed the sights and sounds of the Florida State University Marching Chiefs. Next year, a whole new group of spectators will hear those same sights and sounds as the Chiefs travel to France to participate in the 75th anniversary celebration of the D-Day invasion in Normandy. FSU Headlines reporter Mark Vaughn joins us now after spending a few days with the Marching Chiefs to talk about the trip and just what it means to be an FSU Marching Chief. Mark?
Hey Dennis, well, I got the unique opportunity to spend a few days with the world-renowned Marching Chiefs. From here at their practice fields to football game days, basketball, volleyball, pretty much any Florida State event, you'll hear the Marching Chiefs playing, and they take it as a point of pride. And pretty soon, they'll take their talents across the sea to a pretty big event. Pretty much anywhere there's a Florida State University event, you can find the Marching Chiefs playing the familiar sounds of Florida State that they've helped make famous. From any and all Florida State athletic events, to the Brighton Seminole Tribe of Florida Reservation, and even the state capitol. You'll find the Marching Chiefs setting the stage for FSU fans and supporters alike.
Anybody who knows anything about Florida State University, one of the first things they remember if they are an alumnus is the Marching Chiefs.
And the Chiefs take pride in being the pride of Florida State.
And being able to spread school spirit and spread Seminole pride is amazing. So being part of that means the world to me, and being able to just be a part of something greater than myself.
For us, being the soundtrack or the heartbeat is something we take a lot of pride in.
Whether it's the entire Marching Chiefs or the smaller showcase of the Seminole Sound, the goal every time out is to set the stage and bring FSU traditions to life for every event for these musicians.
In Marching Chiefs, we're just helping the school, and it's a really selfless thing. I've learned a lot from it myself, where it's not about me, it's about school. And everybody looks forward to us, and there's no competition with us against other schools. And so, I don't know, it feels like we're actually helping out a lot.
It takes a lot to get the honor of being the heartbeat and soundtrack of a prestigious university like FSU.
Not anybody can march in the Marching Chiefs. So there is a standard that's set from our previous generations of Marching Chiefs. We have a proud alumni base that that helped pave the way to where we are now, and that's something that we are continually striving to not just uphold but build upon.
And the reward for the hard work to become a Marching Chief? The thrill of wearing the uniform and also being part of a family unlike any other.
From the moment a freshman comes in, they're embraced by the older students to the point where people graduate, and even years after graduation, we have alumni who continue to come back every year for homecoming or post on their own Facebook pages how significant their participation in Marching Chiefs was.
It's a real world opportunity to learn how to work together, love one another. We are one big happy family, sometimes a little dysfunctional. That's preparing them for what's to come.
During their decades of masterful performances at FSU, the Marching Chiefs have earned the moniker world-renowned. And in 2019, they'll add an incredibly important trip to their list as they travel to France to perform as part of the 75th anniversary of the D-Day invasion of the beaches of Normandy.
It's going to be special. First time groups are actually going to be marching on the beach. We reached out to them, they reached out to us. We all kind of found each other, and we're really excited that it could just all happen at just the perfect time.
Just an unbelievable opportunity that I can't believe I get to be a part of, and I can't believe the Chiefs as a whole gets to represent just not only the university but the state, the United States. That's just such a great opportunity.
I think what it means a lot to me and my family is that my grandpa served in World War II, and he's one of the last living vets. And so my mom told me, she's like, you have to wear his pin, and you get to represent him. And my mom started bawling, and it means something to my family, to the university, to the state of Florida, and to the country. And so it's just, again, it's serving others, and it just means a lot to be allowed to do that.
The Marching Chiefs, spreading the sounds of Florida State University wherever they go, around the campus, the state, the country, and the world. For FSU Headlines, I'm Mark Vaughn. Now on to some huge news for Florida State University. Another national title is home at FSU. That's right, Florida State University's women's soccer team brought home its second national title with a 1-0 win over ACC rival North Carolina in the 2018 College Cup. What a run by the Florida State Seminole soccer team it was. After another marvelous run through the ACC tournament that saw the team take down ranked opponent after ranked opponent, ending with North Carolina in the ACC tournament championship, the Noles go on to beat number 20 South Florida, then number 6 USC, and number 14 Penn State at home in the NCAA tournament, and then on to the College Cup. Then it was the semifinal game against Stanford, the defending national champion Cardinal, and they win that one 1-0, breaking Stanford's 45-game unbeaten streak and putting the Noles back into the title game for the first time since winning it all back in 2014. Who do they face? Of course, ACC rival North Carolina. In Cary, North Carolina. No sweat for these ladies, though. In the second half, leave it up to Dana Castellanos on the assist to Dallas Dorsey with the sweet touch goal to put the Noles up one last time for the season to win it all. They post the shutout from there on out and hoist the NCAA trophy yet again. The Noles with the 1-0 win. The Noles are now the two-time NCAA women's soccer national champions, and they follow up the women's softball team that, of course, won the national title earlier this year. All of this taking place in the 50-year celebration of women's athletics at FSU. Pretty cool stuff. Of course, the soccer team coming home to a grand celebration by the Florida State community. All right, that's going to do it for sports, but remember, you can keep up with all things Seminole athletics by visiting Seminoles.com. That's going to do it for me. Let's send things back to you.
All right, thank you, Mark, for that update. Back in November, Florida State University commemorated the Veterans Day weekend with an annual celebration of film. The FSU College of Motion Picture Arts Torchlight program, in collaboration with the Veterans Student Union, led the charge on this 8th annual event. Take a look.
it's my pleasure to welcome you to our Torchlight program screening. Tonight's presentation of the Memphis Belle continues our 7-year collaboration with the Student Veterans Center, the Veteran Student Union, and the Office of the President to focus attention on our veterans both on campus and off through the power of cinema.
It is awesome to have the Memphis Belle here, the opportunity to show a film that's 75 years old and the technology that enables us to refresh it, to restore it in a condition that makes it contemporary and vital and totally stunning, and the opportunity to appreciate it.
What you'll see today looks as good or possibly even better in 4K than it ever did in 35 millimeter. So I'm thrilled with the result, and also with the fact that I could take it places and remind people of my father's service during the war. And Veterans Day is just the perfect time to do it.
And at this moment, I would like to announce this year's recipient and award, Catherine Weiler, for a Memphis Belle, a Flying Fortress.
Walking through life alone is not the way to go through life. We're going to remember the people that we walk through life with. And this event, which is unique in the country, celebrates that. The gathering of a community to increase the awareness and understanding of a unique experience, where we are striving together to be that place where veterans come, they succeed, and then leave as leaders.
The Torchlight program awarded this year's Torchlight Award to Catherine Weiler for her work as a film producer and for the restored 4K version of the original Memphis Belle film showcased at this year's FSU Film Celebration. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of FSU Headlines, but you can see more news from Florida State University anytime at news.fsu.edu. It's the official news website of Florida State University. For everyone here at Florida State University, I'm Dennis Schnitker. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.